Yo, stop asking blind people to proofread your vision. This is Epic Thoughts.
Each day that you're still breathing, you use those breaths to pray positive prayers for other people in these halls and for your family in your home. And that is this deal. Deal?
Yes.
This place is made out of brick, not hope.
What's the matter with you? What happened to make you hurt so bad?
You can't save me, Chaplain. Just like you couldn't save Sean. Your job is what I tell you it is.
Listen, we need you being careful.
It's okay. I got my father's help.
I'm at peace. Are you?
Yo, that's The Efficient coming to HBTV December 26th. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Heritage Park. That's The Efficient coming December 26th to HBTV. And you're going to have an opportunity to help support the project. We're doing a campaign with them starting December 26th, I should say. That's when the campaign starts to be part and connect with some good old content that's coming your way pretty soon here in the next year. There's a link at the bottom in the description. So you can click that link and be a part of something this year, next year, whatever year, be a part of something. Today is going to be kind of somber because I'm in the somber mood. And I came to some revelation yesterday, and I don't think that people are ready to hear the revelation that I really that I got last year. I've told a handful of people about what I felt the Lord was putting on my heart for next year. And I told some people that I just kind of trust me and have the wherewithal to pray and seek God for themselves. And so I just had some come to Jesus moments with some people in the last 24 hours. And I'm doing, and the reason I'm not going to tell the social media or the podcast space is because I don't know who's listening to this, and it's come to the conclusion that the internet is not a safe place, especially for revelation. People just don't know how to handle the word of truth. And so that's just my opinion on the matter. But I don't feel any, I don't feel a pull to share what I have to share on that level here. But I will say this: if you're going, we're all going into 2024. We have about 3 weeks before the end of the year, which is crazy. 2023 is over. That's nuts. But we're going into a new year, and 2024 is going to be challenging on many, many standards. So if you're walking into 2024 thinking, man, it's going to be great, dude, it is for some levels, but it's still a very challenging year coming in. And I want you to be prayed up, preached up, stored up, ready, because I don't think it's going to get easier. I don't believe that it is. I believe that life is going to get structurally harder in the next year. But that's not what this podcast is about. I started realizing this sometime this year that I don't know if you've ever been this way before, but I started processing that, man, I think I'm different than most people. Everybody's unique in their own way, but there's something about me that just makes me different. And I know that there's people out there, and you probably feel the same. I want to be the voice for you today. I want to share some things with you that comes with being that different guy or girl or whatever you are. I want to share this with you because it's important that you understand that you're important. You may seem insignificant. You may feel insignificant. You may feel that no one cares, but people care. You're needed. Your presence is necessary in life. So know that. I wouldn't sugarcoat that at all. Now, here's the thing. Some of you have ideas and visions that you haven't seen before, that no one's set a path on how to do some of the things that you're visioning and that you're seeing in your heart and in your mind. And it makes you, it's a passion. It drives you, but at the same time, it freaks you out because there's no one who understands the journey that you face. I want to tell you today that I'm here with you. I stand with you. The things that I've had to go through in the last few years have been incredibly wonderful, but it's also mentally and taking it on in my head. It's been hard because the things that I've been trying to do for the last few years, are kind of unseen and or out of reach. And so to find people to kind of get behind that is hard because in order to get people behind you, they have to understand what it is that's going on. They have to see it with their eyes and say, I get it. I understand that. And the problem that we're facing and I'm facing and that you're facing is when there's something different and it's unique and it doesn't match what you see or what's out there today, getting people to understand that is very complex. And so because of that, you spend many nights alone. You spend a lot of time in the thought pattern, in the planning mode, not necessarily the execution, but the planning mode. And because of that, people kind of disregard you, and they'll say things like you're lazy or you're unmotivated. You're creating something you've never seen. And the support that you see everybody else get, you don't get. Okay. I'm just being really real today. Normally there's like a lot of fluff and jokes and haha, but I don't have that today for you because no one gives you that, right? No one gives you that. You have ideas that you need to be a millionaire to get accomplished. And unfortunately, your money's not coming to you. Does this sound familiar? Are you in the boat with me? I want to encourage you today that A, you're not alone. B, you're not crazy. And C, the purpose and that drive you're not gonna rest until it comes to pass, right? Or at least until you start getting moving, right? So you have to get moving. And what makes this thing kind of tough is I don't think, and most ministers and most pastors are going to they're getting their New Year's message ready, and they're going to get up there on Sunday the 1st and the 8th, and they're going to do the 31st, and then they'll do a service on the 7th of January and the 14th, and they're going to get up there and they're going to preach this radical message on how this year is the year that you're going to excel and blah 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 blah. But what if it's the same as this year? What then? My friend, I need to tell you, you have to find your plan. You have to make your plan, and you're going to have to execute your plan. And here's the hard crap. Here's the hardest crap. You're going to have to do it by yourself. People are going to show up, yes, and then people are going to leave. You're going to have to execute this joint by yourself. That's hard, and many people will tell you, don't do it, because you can't do things by yourself. But how long have you been waiting on it? And the right person hasn't come, right? Now, I'm speaking from experience. Do people show up for Heritage Park? Yeah, they do. And do people leave? Oh, yes, they do. So whether the people come or not should never dictate whether you should do something or not. Whether people come or not should not forego whether you should keep pushing or not. You keep pushing. If your girlfriend leaves you, if your husband leaves you, if your spouse leaves, you got to keep pushing, right? Um, and you have to remember why you started in the first place. I feel like a lot of the last couple of years, people have been making jokes about how the world has treated them badly, or the year, right? Like the year has personality, like the year's treated them badly. Like ever since 2020, people have been like, man, 2022's kicked my butt, but the year doesn't have personality. However, times have changed. And if you have been not kind of just floating through life and haven't really challenged yourself to go further in certain areas in your life that you know you need to get better in, then yeah, you're going to feel like life is kicking you in the throat. And I'll tell you this much, even when you're doing well, I know people who do well. They'll tell you life feels like life's kicking you in the throat. So no matter what you do, you're going to have that experience. You might as well push towards the goal, the high mark that you've been called to do. And stop waiting. Stop waiting for the millionaire to give you the check. Stop waiting for the friends to come and move to your town to help you execute. It's hard, man. And I'm talking from somebody who spends many nights alone. Many nights alone, looking at the computer screen like, what the hell? Wake up like, what the hell? Like, what the hell should be is basically the three words that resonate. I should make a shirt out of that, because that's how I feel like 90% of the time. Because it's like, am I doing this in vain? Am I living in vain? Am I grinding in vain? And am I hustling in vain? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is probably yes. But there's that one time where you're like, no, this is something bigger I'm striving for. And I got to get there. So don't wait. You don't have time to wait. Trust me, 2024 is going to prove to you that you didn't have time at all. You didn't have time at all. You didn't have time. You don't have time to love. Like, you don't have time to hold out on love. If love is at your door, man, respond to it. Because I'm telling you, this next year is it's not the time to wait. Let me just say that. And stop quitting. It's time to stop quitting. It's time to quit quitting. That's going to be the title. It's time to stop quit. It's time to quit quitting. You need to quit quitting. Because truth be told, you're not quitting. Because every time you quit, you come back the next morning or the next week. Or when you get sad again, you go back to the thing you quit it. Like, this is the only thing that made me happy. It just didn't have life to it. Well, quit quitting. You know, there's a story in the Bible. One of the most popular stories in the scriptures is the story of Noah. And when you really process Noah in the understanding of the scriptures and the gospel, it's a very relatable story, right? Noah is alerted by God that God is about to destroy the earth, and he needs Noah to build an ark to protect him and his family and the animals in the earth. Now, I'm paraphrasing the story, but I'm gonna give you some truths to the story as well. Truth number one, God tells Noah, I'm gonna make it rain, basically, and flood the whole earth. Well, truth number one, rain doesn't exist at that time, right? So he's in context, Noah has no idea what rain is. In context, Noah doesn't know what a flood is. So there go in context, Noah doesn't know what a boat is. So Noah's got to build something he ain't seen before to protect his family for something he doesn't know what it is. That's bonkers, right? And it takes massive trust in God to like, yeah, okay. And here's dimensions, okay. And here's gopher wood. How am I going to get gopher wood? Can you imagine the amount of gopher wood this man had to get? It was 3 football fields long, and he had to get. That's just an annoying amount of work to put in for something that he's never seen but done before. That's relatable because that's where you're at. And then think about how much time it took Noah to get that thing done. Noah didn't have this thing done in a month and a half. This took, I believe, well, I know years. I just can't remember off the top of my head how many years. I believe it was, let me look at this, see if I can find the scriptures real quick, how long it took him. Or actually, let me just ask Google. How many years did it take Noah to build the ark? 75. Some scholars say 75 years. That can't be right. Anyways, it took a long time to build this ark. 55 to 75 years. That's what some scholars are saying. So it took him 55 to 75 years to build this ark. Now, thank God your purpose isn't taking you 55 to 75 years to build and create and all that other stuff. You'll lose your mind. But and in the midst of, he still has to take care of his family. He still has to provide. He still has to be a dad. He still has to be a father. And there's moments in the scriptures where just the stress. Noah was alcoholic, man. Noah was stressing out on a lot of stuff. And imagine knowing what he knows and trying to build a boat while people are making fun of him, people are laughing at him, and people are saying evil things to him, right? People are talking about him when he's not around. People are talking about when he is around. The amount of anxiety that Noah has to experience in this matter, it's overwhelming, right? This man is causing himself to drink himself to a stupor. He becomes an alcoholic from just the stress of building this sucker. Like that's just remarkable that, sometimes we fail to look at the human element of some of the characters in the Bible. Like Noah was a drunk stupor. And people were like, well, he's too drunk to talk about. That's why he's talking about this rain thing. He's drunk. Noah had to deal with the anxiety of building something he's never seen and basing his knowledge of how to build it off of what God is telling him. That right there is so relatable to me in so many ways, because it's like, how am I supposed to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and K with L, M, N, O, P in process? Not to mention Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z, and then double A, double B. Like how? And there's the nights where I've literally looked at the wall for like an hour. And I said, what the hell? I know I'm not the only one. And there may only be 1 or 2 or 3 people that hear this podcast and they go, yeah, that's me. Well, I want to let you know you're not alone, bro. You are not alone. So Noah's sitting here and he's got to build this ark, man. Here's the crazy thing. This is how I see the Bible and see God. Whether he built it or not, this is the torment part in my head. Whether he built it or not, it was going to rain. Whether he built it or not, it was going to flood. No matter what, that flood was coming. Sometimes God gives us instructions knowing that the flood is about to show up. And he's giving you the instructions not because once you do it, the flood will show up. He was like, no, the flood is coming. That's why I don't believe that God makes suggestions. I believe he makes commandments. And when you don't follow them, you're succumb to the flood. And there's many times where I didn't listen and I've had to deal with so many bad stuff and floods and death and ministries dying and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, and it's the scripture talks about the where people go to the place of weeping and gnashing of teeth. And a lot of people that's hell, and I do believe that's hell in some structures as well. But I also believe that, like, have you ever had overwhelming anxiety or overwhelming extreme regret because you've missed God and you realize you missed God? That's weeping and gnashing of teeth as well. So there's a level of torment that we go through when we miss the boat. Excuse the pun. When we miss that boat. And when that happens, man, that's just a season you just gotta be like, ugh, I gotta grin this stuff because the Lord told me that the flood was coming and I didn't pay attention to it. And you know what? Sometimes because we do things and people are alone in general. Like people act like they're around groups of people all the time. Like this is my squad, and I always laugh when I hear rappers like, "You really need to see my squad." And like, you're really alone, right? Because everyone's got a squad until, right? When the money runs out, the popularity runs out, the fame runs out, the energy runs out. You get older, you get fatter, you get married, you get kids. But once something happens, your squad is gone. I don't know if I'm the only one that's going through has actually felt that, but I know what it's like to be the dude, the center of attention, and be like, this is my squad, and I'm doing a show, and 20 people roll with me to the club to do the show. Now I go do a show, and I go do the show. I go do the show. I can't even get my DJ to go sometimes. You know, so there's times where you're the one, and then there's times where you're the one. And you got to be remembering that, hey, this journey that I'm on is not about all them other people. It wasn't about the squad. They got their own journey to work out. And honestly, to be completely honest with you, they're lost just as much as you are. And it's funny because we'll drift to them and we will connect to them to make us feel like we are in the right path, and they'll connect to you to make them feel like they're in the right path. And truth be told, it's the blind leading the blind. No one knows what the hell's going on. So you just gotta have to just trust, right? And that's a hard thing to do too. That's a hard thing to do. Because it's hard to trust, especially when you've had so much heartbreak and you've had heartache. And you're listening to me right now and you're like, dang, man, how does Ro know this right now? Yo, I'm going through it too. I'm going through it too. And it's almost like there's no one to talk to about it because you were happy yesterday. So you don't want everyone to see that you were happy yesterday and now you're not. And listen, and for the trolls that get on my page and DM me stupid stuff and comment dumb stuff, just know I do go to counseling. Thank you. You're welcome. This is deeper than that, right? Get a purpose. If you're a troll, and you know who you are if you are a troll, get purpose, man. Stop coming at everybody. Get purpose. Focus on you. So there's that. So you just gotta talking back. I'm not talking to troll no more. That's my last time I'll talk to you. So to my people who are outliers, who have purpose and it's bigger than them. Listen, it's supposed to be. And it's hard. And I think the one thing that makes it hard is we compare ourselves to other people and we know we shouldn't. However, we want to know that we're okay compared to everyone else. And we see everyone else doing different things. And you're just like, I just want to be okay. And you're out there just trying your best to stay alive and you're trying your best to stay focused. And it's hard. I get it. But you got to keep your eyes focused on Christ. I heard a message this weekend that really shook me. Shout out to Mark Graham, Pastor Mark, and Abundant Living High Desert. He brought up a scripture that I've always had a problem with, which was Matthew 5. In Matthew 5, where Jesus says, "Be perfect, for I am perfect." And it always gave me problems too. He was talking about how I gave him problems. And it always gave me problems too, because I'm always like, dude, nigga, I can't be pregnant. Sorry, I can't be perfect. I can't be perfect at all. Even if I tried to be perfect, that's not happening. And when he broke down what the word means in that context, the word is teleos, which means complete. And then in translation, it means be complete. Or have the word also actually can mean be complete and or have a plan. Plan for your spirit, soul, and body. Plans to succeed. And then that took me to Romans 12:2, where it says, "Do not be conformed to the patterns of this world, but be transformed." Excuse me, that's my phone. It's my Bible app on the iPhone. But be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so you'll know what God's plan is. Right? There's a plan for you. Now, because of your plan, and because you're different, your plan ain't going to match everybody else's plan. Your plan is going to be different than everybody else's plan. Your plan, you're going to have to do things that no one else will do or want to do. So then because of that, they're going to try to talk you out of doing what you're supposed to do. Well, why would you do that? Because it's part of my plan. That's what you need to learn. That's part of your plan. Well, why would you take on a dying nonprofit while you're trying to build Heritage Park? It's part of the plan. Why would you do ABC? Why would you not marry such and such and just break up something because it wasn't part of your plan? Because everyone's going to make assumptions about you based off of their own understanding of them, right? So there's people who hate their jobs. So people who hate their jobs are going to look at somebody who loves their job and works 60 hours a week, single, or with a spouse who also loves to work and they work together. Somebody who hates their job is going to look at that person and go, "You work too much." Yeah, that's how they see life, because they hate their job. And if they didn't have to work that much, they wouldn't. But can you imagine if you was an esports athlete and you're making $700,000 a year playing 2K, right? Then that person's going to look at you and be like, you need to get a job. I know a guy who makes stupid money. Like he's worth a couple $100 million, making stupid money. And he's been making stupid money since I met him. And I met him, 2006, 2005-ish. And when I met him in 2005, 2006, he was already making stupid money. And since I've met him in 2005 to 2006, he hasn't had a year where he hasn't made stupid money. He's just a genius when it comes to marketing. He's a genius marketing and brand creator. Like, he's genius. And he spends a lot of his time when he's not working, which is a lot. He spends a lot of his time just chilling, right? He spends a lot of time skateboarding. He loves skateboarding. He loves hanging out with now he's got a family, but back then he didn't. He just skateboarded and did crazy stuff, traveled, and all kind of stuff. And he was making millions of dollars, lived in LA, and his mom, even at the age of, he's older than me by like 4 years or something like that. So when I met him, he was, into adulthood, and he's making, millions of dollars a year. And even while he's doing this, his mom was talking to him every day about getting a job. That's going to run out. You need to get a job. Everybody's understanding of what they tell you is based off of their experience with themselves, right? His mom felt that, because she grew up in the time where everyone needed a job, and that was it. Like, your value in this world is based off of you having a job. So in her mind, that's great. You're doing all this fun stuff and they're giving you money, but that's not going to last in the long run. You need to get a job. And his response was, I'm doing my thing. And he's an outlier. I know that there's times in his life where he was by himself, and he had to, you have to, and he did. You have to risk being misunderstood. You have to risk being alone. You have to risk people talking about you for a season, because everybody was not feeling this dude at all the time. Right now in his life, people feeling this guy. People fight to get his attention, and he gets to choose who he spends his days with. He gets to choose who he spends his time with. But people fought to be around him. At one point, they fought to stay away from him, and they all ridiculed him and said that he's no good and and all this other stuff. And now they want to be around him all the time. They try to act like they're his friends. I don't even call him, because I don't want to be one of those people that act like I'm his friend. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't call people, because I don't want people to think that I'm acting like I'm your friend. And then at the same time, I don't want people to think I want anything, because I have really good friends that are worth a lot of money, and I don't want them to think I want anything. But at the same time, they don't hang out with me because I don't have a lot of money. So it's a catch-22. Either way, I'm outlier. Stop quitting. Quit quitting. Go through this next season. You may have to, put your head down and grind your way through this next season. I'm telling you. And if you are like me, you understand the urgency that I'm telling you right now in my voice. Because next year is not going to be a walk in the park for nobody. Listen to me. Next year will not be a walk in the park for nobody. So, if you're one of those people, and then stop sharing your dreams with people who had no vision. My statement that I made at the beginning of the show carries a very heavy variance, because you're sharing. The Bible talks about, do not cast your pearl, your unique, precious gift. Don't cast it before the pigs, before people who don't know how to value extraordinary talent, who don't have extraordinary vision. They don't know how to value somebody who has something that they've never seen before. And you don't have to fight them. You don't have to defend yourself to them. You defend yourself to your work. You defend yourself to your vision. You don't have to defend, and you don't have to prove anybody wrong. So get the thought out of your head that you're here to prove people wrong, and that can't be a goal anymore. You got to shut that goal down, because then you're doing it from the wrong heart. And if you do it from the wrong heart, you know that to make the thing that you're trying to build, create, breathe, it needs a good heart. It can't have the heart of, I told you so, or I'm here to prove people wrong. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that junk. Just keep at the pace that you are at, and you will be just fine. Heritage Park PROD is the website. If you want to get any of our clothes or merchandise, I think today, as of today, the Christmas sale is over, but you can still, for some of the blends, some of the cotton blends, and some of the screen tees, they are available to be delivered before Christmas, because one of our distribution centers in South Carolina. So I know the one that I get a lot of flack about, people give me a lot of flack over the shirt, where it says, now I have a machine gun, ho, ho, ho. But at the same time, people buy it too. So yeah, that shirt is made in South Carolina. So if you're in America, you can still get that shirt by Christmas. Also, the pajamas and the sweater and the Christmas sweater you can get before Christmas if you order it before, I believe, the 20th. If you're trying to get the other stuff, like one of the hot things right now are the workout shorts. I don't understand what's going on with the workout shorts. Those we had to order those from we had to order those from overseas. So those probably won't get to you by Christmas. But if you do a lot of the printed tees and stuff like that, you'll get it before Christmas. But Heritage Park PROD is the website. Also check us out at HPTV. I've never really I know the numbers, but I never really focused on the numbers. And then somebody who works with a developer has hit me up about a lot of new things that's happening at HPTV because of the number. So it's really cool. So thank you all for supporting us. But I want to encourage you as we go to take your support to another level. Yes, buying clothes and stuff like that helps us financially a little bit, but we also have on the app and on HPTV, there is a give button somewhere, either on the top of the screen of the app or at the bottom of the website, where you can donate to Heritage Park. I want to encourage you and just ask for a donation as well. I know I talked about giving to the efficient, but Heritage Park, we got some things going on next year. I'm actually looking to do something interesting, but I need the finances to do it. So please, if you consider backing Heritage Park, that would be wonderful. Click that donate button and you could donate, and that donation, 100% of it will go to Heritage Park and helping Heritage Park get going on some other projects that we have for the new year. But I want you to keep us in prayer. Keep Heritage Park in prayer. Keep Hope Recovery Center in prayer. There's a lot of transition going on right now. And I'm telling you right now, we'll pray for you as well. Pray for your family and really search your heart, get in your scriptures, because next year you're going to need as much God as possible. All right. But on that note, God bless you. We'll talk to you next week, and have a good one.